Hey.
Like, am I gonna say it? Hey,
what's
Michael, how
what's
are
going
you?
on?
Should I take my scarf off for this one? Two
Yeah,
takes.
change the
The
outfits.
change of wardrobe.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm all down for that. Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse
Yes,
me.
no.
Oh my God. So what's going on? It's been a while.
Yes, it has. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. What are we talking about today?
How to choose a realtor.
Very cool. Why even choose a realtor? Why don't I just buy it online?
Buy what online? See, what are we even buying?
We're buying, well, if you have a realtor, you're buying a house, I'm assuming.
A house or commercial building or what we got here?
Oh, okay,
So,
okay. Residential or commercial. Okay, let's go residential. Let's take residential.
okay. All right. So we're gonna
Um,
stick with residential. I like that.
awesome, awesome. So let's get into it. Let's what like yeah, why? I mean, I know I have some people that are like, well, I can just buy it through Redfin. I can just click a couple buttons and they'll send me the offer. And why is that a bad idea?
Oh gosh. Okay. Terrible idea. First of all, you definitely don't want to just go through someone that you're online 2 seconds friends with. Like just don't do that. At least pick someone that you have known, talked to before, met in person, had any type of relationship with, and some sort of trust. I definitely want to trust the people that are going to be helping you for sure. And especially if you were to like find a house on like Redfin or Zillow and you reach out to that listing agent is not going to be helping you. They are working for the seller and their best interest is in the seller. So, it was crazy to me. I was just listening to one of my mentors and CEOs of my company, and he mentioned to me, which I had no idea, that in England, they don't have any buyer's agents. And like Europe and stuff, it's just listing agents. So usually when people are buying houses, it's difficult because all of the interest is put in towards the seller.
Oh,
So that's what,
interesting.
yeah, I thought that was like the craziest fact I've ever heard. So having to have heard that, I always told myself, okay, I'm a buyer's agent. This is awesome. I'm here to represent the buyer specifically in this transaction. And having to pick a realtor for buying a home is very crucial, especially when you want someone to work 110% for you.
Awesome. So there's a lot to uncover there. So we talked
Yeah.
about a couple different agents. There's a listing agent and there's a buyer's agent. So
Yes.
some people might not know that, but when you sell a property, you hire a realtor typically to represent you on the sale of your home. And they're called a listing agent. So someone that actually has the listing. And then
Mhm.
their fiduciary duty is to represent the seller in the seller's best interests. So when you call, like you said, when you call Redfin or when you see a home online and you click and you call that person, typically you're going to be talking to the listing agent or the team of the listing agent. So their sole duty is to get the highest price, the best terms for the seller.
Yeah.
They are working for the seller, not you. And when you call someone like yourself, when you're on the buying side and you're looking for a buyer's agent, their fiduciary duty and their responsibility is working for the buyer. So they have the best interest in the buyers, try to get the lowest price or try to get the best terms or get whatever the buyer's looking for, what their interests are, put that first before the sellers.
Yeah. So then when it comes back to the buying side, where do people start? Where do they find these real estate agents? Where can they go?
Exactly. Yeah. Where do people start? I mean, I would say, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Most people right now are probably searching home. I'm buying a home in Michigan or realtor in Michigan
Yeah.
or good buyer's agent in wherever place I'm looking for. So most people are probably starting online, right? Would you say so?
Of course, they're starting online, but what I usually tend to is I usually like to stick to like an internal like source, like, all right, who do I know closest to me? And
Okay.
before even having to go on the internet, like and finding a real estate agent in that area, who do I know? Who do I
Yeah.
know in that area? Who do I
Yeah.
know in this area? Has any of my friends bought recently? Because I know if I'm talking to my parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, they haven't bought in 20 years. So they're not going to have a real estate agent most likely.
That's right.
So I definitely want to like stick to my friends, any of my friends, coworkers, or they buying because I trust those people. I'm around them multiple times a day in, day out, or whatever. See them on the weekends, they trust them that much. I should be able to as well because they have you rely on their opinions and interests in life.
100%. So basically, their sphere of influence is what you're looking for. You're asking your friends, families,
Yes.
and finding out who they had a good experience with recently that knows the area you're looking in. And then
Yeah.
now,
Yes, exactly.
would you say it's a good idea to interview more than one person?
Of course, 110%. Always interview. I always tell people if I'm the only person, that's even better for me. But if I'm not, I'm super happy that you're interviewing multiple people because you're keeping your options open as you should when it comes to the biggest purchase of your life.
A hundred
You
percent.
are you are not going to offend us if you don't work with us. That's fine because if something may happen, we're still here.
Yeah.
But we just want you to make sure that you're happy and content and being able to trust someone.
Well, and that's 100% right. And not everyone. And the other thing that people don't realize, we don't have to take on every single person that comes through our door either,
Yeah.
because I mean, sometimes personalities just don't work, don't align. There's people that I know that when I go and interview for a listing or to work with the buyer, I can tell sometimes right away. It's like, you know what, these people would actually better suited with somebody else or with someone else on my team or something else. And I'll even bring that to them because I don't want to give them the disservice of me not being completely 100% in. And I don't want them to feel the same pressure the other way around. So if it's not a good match, totally fine. We don't really know each other. We might, or whatever,
Yeah.
but let's find you someone that can really help you and work in your best interest, because the last thing you want is both people being angry at the end of the transaction or upset at the end of the transaction and no one's having fun, because this is a stressful time, but it should also be a super fun time to go out house shopping and buying
Exactly.
and all those memories you're going to create. You want to have someone on your side that's going to really push for you and be excited with you and really help you out. And if you can't be hanging around with them 24/7 or wanting to hang around them 24/7, then you need to find somebody else, right?
Yeah, and that of course you're saying that goes both ways.
Yeah.
That's the client towards the agent and agent towards the client. Either way, as long as everyone's happy, that's all that matters.
Now, how important is experience?
um, well, I would have to say that I want to say no. Experience,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
because I had no experience whatsoever, and I was trying to get into the business, but my mentorship and sponsors mentorship and everyone that I was underneath, that was the only thing that I needed to know that I could fall back on when I was doing the process.
See, so that is still, in my opinion, that's still knowledge, because you knew what you didn't know. And yeah, you knew what you didn't know, or you didn't know what you didn't know. Whatever the saying
I didn't
goes.
know,
It-
regardless. I didn't know in the beginning.
Exactly. But you had people that you could rely on, and you were smart enough to say, you know what, I don't know this business yet. I'm brand new, but I'm going to
Yes,
align myself with mentors and people that I can rely on. So when I do go out and talk to those people and they ask me a question that I don't know, I can confidently say, hey, you know what? I don't know the answer, but let me check with my mentors, let me check with my support and find out and get
yes,
back to you. So
exactly.
I still think you're just using leverage, which
So I
is
guess
amazing.
yes, of
Yeah, so I
course,
think
because it's me looking and seeking out that knowledge from others to support my business when it comes to like having to start off for my clients. But yes, totally get it.
100%. So I would say you're still using knowledge. I mean, I think I would say you are very knowledgeable. And if you didn't know, you are leveraging the knowledge of other people that you are close with, or that
Yes.
are mentoring you. So, because I was going to say, oh man, where are we going with this? I would definitely say knowledge and experience, in my opinion, is huge for the largest purchase of most people's lives here.
Mm-hmm.
And not working with somebody that's unprofessional, or someone that doesn't really know the business, or someone that doesn't really know real estate. Not so much in just the transaction, because I mean that part's not the most difficult part, but knowing the homes, knowing the areas, knowing the clients, and
Yes.
finding what they're looking for, and then negotiating properly, and going through those steps and going through those motions and protecting the clients. I mean, you want someone that's on your side and knows what they're doing, and if they don't know or have questions, that they have a team of support group that they can rely on, and
Yes.
they can fall back on. Because the last thing you want, and I'm definitely 100% not guilty, but I've been in these situations where I'm representing a client and on the other side is either a brand new agent or someone that maybe does it part-time or they don't know what they're doing. And it's like, I feel so bad for that client because
Yeah.
we're just taking them to the cleaners. I mean, we're just literally railroading whatever we want because I know
Yes.
how to negotiate. No, I know how to position ourselves where we can get what my client wants. And I know how to kind of write that together, put that together where we're getting what we want. And I'm telling the other agent, hey, just tell the sellers this, tell the sellers
Sorry,
that.
hold on one second.
You're good.
Hey, can you put them outside? I'm doing a recording. Can you put them outside? Thank you. Sorry.
You're good.
So
um,
the client,
yeah. So, I mean, where was I? We were at, well, I'll cut this part out and we'll go on. But,
you're fine.
what was I going to say? Yeah. So we're basically railroading or just pushing through what our clients want. And I feel bad for some of those agents or some of those clients on the other side that don't really know any better, but they're
Yes.
really getting taken advantage of and they're not being represented properly or as well as they should have. So I think experience and knowledge and having that, good foundation is going to be, it would be huge.
Yes, and exactly. I truly believe like having that the knowledge is going to be there for most people, as they go through these transactions, and of course, like if you have a friend that's new too, like talk to them, try to help them out, get them in business. This may help your friend. Just because they started out doesn't mean that they're not going to work as hard.
No,
So when it comes to that, yes, knowledge should be there, but also as long as you know the knowledge is there within them, and then they could find that
yeah,
if you do have the questions, that really does matter too.
that definitely helps. I mean, I was more saying, there's some agents, especially here, that get into the business that don't pay for mentorship or don't have a mentor or don't have a good support system and they're trying
That's
to wing it
crazy.
and
That's
they're just trying to wing
crazy.
it. It's nuts. So, I mean, just try to avoid, just be careful and just make sure you interview. And I mean, another thing, ask for references, ask for past clients, ask for references, Google them, search them online, see, what they've done, see what they're doing. Are they a realtor by day and something else by night, or are they doing it part-time or they whatever? Because I mean, unfortunately here, we have a lot of that. And I'm not saying that they're not
Yes.
good. It's just know what you're getting into.
And then you think about it too, it's for the client specifically. If this person has another job, how are they tailoring to you and how you want to buy or when you want to buy? So you have to
And
think about that. Like, how is this person going to benefit me and what I want out of my life? And that's buying a home or currently selling a home. You know,
100%.
so what is it going to take?
Well, and especially in this market too, where homes sell in less than 24 hours sometimes, if they have a day job and they're saying, oh, I can't show it to you for 3 days from now,
Yes.
well, that home's not going to be there in 3 days. So you want someone that can be like, yeah, you know what? That home's a hot home. We're going to go see it tonight, this afternoon.
Yes.
Let's not drop everything, but like, let's schedule it so we can get into it and have a fighting chance. Not let's go
Mhm.
see it next week when I'm off and I have a break in between my two other jobs that I can show you this
Yes.
home.
Exactly, exactly. And I get that. And that's why, having to have that full-time real estate agent will benefit you when it comes to selling or buying, period.
100%. Now, what else should we look for?
Out of or where or how or what. So, I guess what are we looking for out of an agent is what you're getting at?
Yeah, so we went over, knowledge and experience,
Oh
talking your
gosh.
sphere of influence. What else would you tell people if
Well,
they're
you
searching
touched
for
on
an
it.
agent?
Well, you touched on it a little bit. What are your common interests? Do you guys have common interests? Do you guys click?
Yeah,
Is this something that you can call them up and you don't feel but you don't feel worried or you're having to bother them? Don't ever feel like you're bothering us because we want to help you buy or sell a home.
exactly.
Can we have a fluid conversation without you having to feel hesitant? Are you comfortable around them when it comes to having a conversation? Can you talk about other things in real estate? Do you feel comfortable? So I guess it's like that personable mentality of like feeling welcomed into such an unknown world. These
100%.
people don't do this all the time like we do. So having to have them feel welcomed is like one true key that I always try to make sure my clients feel.
Awesome. What questions should they be asking? Is there like a list of things that you would say, hey, you know what? These are like the top fives. You should ask your agent this, and this. And we can link the questions below as well.
Yeah. So of course, how long have you been in real estate? That goes with the experience and knowledge. Do you have any other certifications? Are you a mentor or are you a broker? What are you a difference between a real estate agent and a broker? Do you do this full time or part time? So those, I would have to say those are like the main ones.
Okay.
And as well as, do you do this by yourself or do you run a team or are you on a team?
Those are good
You
questions.
know? Oh, thank you.
I would say, so everyone's going to have different questions and different
Of
setups. I
course.
mean, I think those are great. I think to touch on that, the other thing I would probably ask, just being into it now for 9 years,
Way more than me, yes.
no, I wasn't getting at that. I would
No,
probably
I love
ask
it.
just, I would probably ask, what, when was the last time they sold a home? Because
Yes.
I think that's a good one that not many people ask and not many people think about. It's like, well, in Arizona, at least the average agent sells 4 homes a year. So if you're just am
Wow.
I getting an average agent? Am I getting above average? Am I getting someone that's never sold anything, which is fine. I
Yeah.
just want to know where I'm at, kind of thing. Right. And typically for a buyer's agent, the listing agent of the seller is typically paying their commission or their fee. So
Mhm.
typically it doesn't cost you anything to work with the best or the worst.
Yes.
It'll cost you the same amount. Well, the worst will cost you a lot more in other fees, but in other headaches. But I mean, it doesn't cost you anymore to hire a top producer or to hire a person that knows what they're doing in that neighborhood or the niche you're looking in. The other thing I would say is find out, there's different agents for different types of properties in different areas. So if you're specifically looking for a specific property or a specific type of property, so for instance, right now I'm working with a bunch of clients that are looking to purchase Airbnbs, and they've come to me because that's a
Mhm.
lot of my business right now. And we are in a secondary market. I focus a lot more on investors and working on that Airbnb side. So if they're looking to buy if they're a first time home buyer looking to buy in the West Valley, for instance, that's not going to be my forte. That's not what I'm really actively doing right now. And so that's something that I would refer to somebody else, to another agent. But I would ask, find what niche are you looking? Are you an investor? Are you first time home buyer? And I would ask that question. Do you work with first time home buyers, investors,
Mhm.
Airbnb buyers,
Yes.
multiplexes, land, or whatever it is? Because and if they do, then I would probe a little bit more because you'll get every agent that's going to say, "Of course I do. I work with everyone." But
Oh,
do
when they do the work though, keep in
exactly.
mind.
Yeah, exactly. So then I would probe on that and say, "Okay, great. When was the last time you sold that kind of property?" Or give me a little bit
Mhm.
more and just kind of dig in a little bit and just see, is it
Okay.
just fluff or is that what they really do? And you can research that online as well. The other thing, like I
Yes.
mentioned earlier, I would Google the person's name and see
Yes.
where they show up
Look them up.
online. Exactly.
Facebook,
Reviews.
Instagram,
Exactly.
reviews on Google, to LinkedIn, Twitter,
Are they active?
Pinterest. Yes. Are they consistently posting? Do they know what they're talking about? Stalk them. I always tell people, like, stalk me. Please
Do they have
stalk
a
me.
podcast? Do they have are
That,
they creating
yay.
reels? Are they creating YouTube videos? Yeah. Are they
Yes.
active in the community? Are they active in the
Yes.
market? Because if you're active, you're seeing the properties, you know the knowledge, you know things that are changing, and things change daily in real estate. I find, we were
Yes.
talking about the last podcast, we were talking about Zillow closing their iBuying program. And 2 years ago, we were talking about them going into buying properties. So things
Yes.
are always changing.
Hmm.
So those are I think the other things that I want to touch on that I think get overlooked, that I would check. And again, don't paint the painting with the same brush. Every agent's a bit different. Every agent's going to have their qualities. They're going to have some cons. So build out your pros and cons list before you actually hire, and then talk. Like I said, talk to them. Find out if they're answering their phones. Find
Yes.
out if they're going to gel with you, and then once you find that person that works, make that commitment with them, because a committed client and a committed realtor are going to make a perfect team. If you're not committed
Mhm.
and they're not committed, then everyone's kind of dancing around this gray area. Should I invest my time and energy into helping them? And they're going to be like, well, should I go find someone else? Should I do this? Should I do that? Once you find that person, you make that match, make that commitment, do that marriage in that relationship, and take it to the finish line, because it'll pay off in the end.
And sign the buyer contract and seller contract. Please just do it.
Well, exactly. And that's what I was getting at, is just,
Yes.
put it in writing, make that
Yes,
official. And it's not that it's in stone, that it's never going to be able to be broken. There's just
exactly.
putting words a little bit more than just, a handshake, saying that, hey, I'm committed to doing this. I'm committed to doing that. And the buyers, I'm committed to working with you and helping me find a home or sell a home.
Exactly.
Boom. Mic drop.
Love it. Ah, that was another good one.
I'm just stopping the recording now.